Action. Hello, it's me, your host, Unimoto. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So yeah, lots of nice memories on this park. I often like to come to this park because there's a lot of nice childhood memories on this park, and it somewhat gives me nice comfort. It reminds me of when times were simpler, you know, and now I'm an adult and there's a lot of pressure on my life sometimes, like get a job, do this, do that, learn to drive, get married, get a girlfriend, have kids, all that. And you know, you remember the good old days when I was just on this park, I was just enjoying life. It was the summer holidays, the 6 weeks holidays, me and the boys just enjoying life, riding our bikes, not to worry in the world. Life was simple, no adulthood, no COVID, no woke culture, no like this or that. And yeah, and here we are on a random Tuesday. I'm now 26 years old in 2026. Where does time go? You close your eyes and then you open them, and then you're in your mid-20s, approaching 30, sat on a park on a random Tuesday. And yeah, that's how it happens. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And yeah, here we are on a random Tuesday. Right, so this fountain right here, I remember when I was younger, there was water coming out of it. Now it looks like a nuclear wasteland. Look at that. Where's it all gone? Like, why does it look like a nuclear wasteland? Look at that. Yo, this gives the same energy of that scene in the Victor Tsoy film. You know, in that movie that Victor Tsoy's in from 1988, where him and his girlfriend, they go to the seaside or whatever, they go to the beach and all the water's dried up. And that film actually showed the errors of the Soviet Union. Very important historical stuff. So I think that that movie is very important because it shows the errors of the Soviet Union. Very interesting movie called The Needle from 1988. Look that up and watch that. There you go, Victor Tsoy, you got your free plug. Random old people staring. They probably think I'm some BBC reporter or something. Nope, it's the Unimoto channel. We do it different. Right, memory unlocked. A random memory has just been unlocked, so I'm going to talk about it. I was 15 and I was playing football with my... 15, 16, 14? I might have been 14 even. I was playing football with my friends. I was the goalkeeper because I was a beast at being a goalkeeper. I was the goalkeeper. And then a bunch of dickheads who were like in year like 11 or year 12 even, or maybe even older, they showed up at the gate and they started being dickheads, and it started like, one of them started to kick the ball at me on purpose. And then the other one started to kick the ball at me on purpose, just randomly. And they were just being like typical dickheads, you know, your typical classic bullies. And I literally said to my mate, can we go, because they're starting to piss me off. And then they heard me say that and they looked at each other and laughed and looked at me and laughed and said, starting to piss me off. Dickheads, losers, freaks. Wouldn't surprise me if they're watching this right now. I don't even know their names, but they're a bunch of losers from Aswan School, so I don't know, but a bunch of losers that went to Aswan School, so yeah. I remember me and my brother and his friends were playing around here, these bushes, all that 2000s nostalgia. Where's it all gone? That 2000s nostalgia. So many memories, bro. So many memories. Bro, why do random people just keep spawning in, bro? Like, it's a random Tuesday. Here we are on a random Tuesday. Like, obviously, you'd think it's going to be dead, but random people just keep spawning in, bro. Chat, I actually don't like Tuesdays. Tuesdays are so dead. Like, Tuesdays are literal, like, filler arc. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is literal just like filler arc. Do you know what I mean? Literal, all filler. Literally. Yep, Tuesday's literal filler arc. It's like when you'd be watching a classic shonen anime and then there'd be a scene or a particular set of like villains that show up and you think, hold on a minute, this didn't happen in the manga. This is filler. This never happened in the manga. This has to be an exclusive filler to the anime. Bleach. Okay, I quite like the Bounce series. But my only problem with the Bounce series is it went on for too fucking long. Like, they didn't, like, spoiler alert, they didn't need to bring the Bounce to the Soul Society. They didn't need to do that thing. You do not need to do that. You should have ended it at season 4, and that's it. Oh. All of a sudden it feels like I've stepped into a parallel universe. Like, where is this? What is this place? So here we are on Blackthorn Close. It sounds like something from like an horror film or something. Like Blackthorn. That sounds like a cult horror film from the 80s. Here we have the Hasland Hotel B&B, and it's £30 from £30 per night. Yo, interesting trivia. A viewer once asked me to stay at this hotel and review it, and I thought, don't know, maybe I will, but I do like my own bed too much. I do like my own bed and my own room a bit too much, so I don't know about that. Hush. A dog just literally barked down there and it did this, went, wah, 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 wah. What does that sound like to you? Like literally, I nearly did the second part, like you know the song, what's it called now? Low rider rides a little higher. Yeah, that song, that from 70s, isn't it? Low Rider by War, is it? Hello. So here is where I watched that football game. Do you remember when I was watching that local football game? And they didn't mind me being there as well. So I was literally talking to the referee, and I was stood next to the substitutes and the coach, and they didn't mind me being there. They must have knew that I'm just a guy who likes to watch football. I like watching small teams play. I like watching football games. I'm very passionate about football. Do you know what I mean? You know, so the other week there was a football game that was happening. It looked like a bunch of college students, probably 16, 17-year-olds, who were playing a football game on Queen's Park. And I was waiting for a friend who was having a meeting, and I thought I'd just stand and watch them play or whatever. So I just watched them playing football, you know. That's all I was doing, just watching them playing football. And then the coach, I stepped through the gate to watch the football, and then the coach told me to go away and said that their children playing. Go now, bye. And I was thinking, mate, children, come on. I mean, there's a difference between children and young adults. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between actual children and like adolescents. Do you know what I mean? Like young adults. Do you know what I mean? And I'm only watching them playing football in a public place, playing football in a public park that anyone can walk past and look at. Anybody. You are in public, in a public park. I just don't understand people. Just the irony when this guy made me feel like a fucking weirdo, saying, oh, the children play, mate, go by, there's children, bro. Like, mate, what the fuck? Like, do you know what I mean? I just don't, I can't get my head around that. You are in a public park. You was in a public park where anyone can walk past, and you say that to me. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's just not real life, is it? It just doesn't make sense. So I just went into the One Stop, and there's no sandwiches on the meal deal section. Wow, they must have all been snatched up. Only if it was the school kids. Only if it was them. On a school run, they thought, oh yeah, let's quickly get a sandwich from the shop before we go to school. Is this really how much they're charging for meal deals nowadays? Do you remember back in the day you could get a meal deal cheaper? Hey. So we're at the Chesterfield Football Stadium right now, and I'm going to be honest, I actually prefer the old logo. I do. I much prefer the old logo. I mean, the old logo was the one that I grew up with, so it's like special to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I grew up with that one, like when I was younger. When I used to go to the Saltergate games when I was younger. So I just walked past some Grimsby fans, rival Grimsby fans, and you could feel the tension. You could feel the tension. He looked at me, he side-eyed me, and you could feel the tension, bro. What is this? The fucking football fucking factory? Is it getting a reboot? Is it?